The RAB was on the ground at NAB Show 2026 in Las Vegas. The convention brought together nearly 60,000 attendees, including over 1,100 exhibitors, alongside high-profile keynote speakers and forward-looking sessions spanning broadcasting, media, advertising, and entertainment. The conversation throughout the week for radio was clear. The medium continues to evolve. The new opportunities and a shared commitment to moving forward with one voice. We are excited to share the latest Radio on Main Street podcast series, featuring conversations with leading voices across the industry. Explore perspectives on advertising and sales, digital, innovation, AI, storytelling, content creation, community service, and philanthropy. And you will hear firsthand the passion that is driving their work, along with their outlook on what's ahead for radio. When you come to the NAB and you walk down the hallway with this guy, you will not get to where you're going very fast. Because when Scott Herman is in tow, everybody wants to say hello. And so I will start off and say from the Inco booth, hello, Scott Herman. Thank you for joining us on Radio on Main Street podcast with the RAB.
My pleasure, Mike. Thanks for having me.
It's great to hear. We're going to talk radio. We're going to talk about you, and we're going to talk about a great passion that you have, which is helping others, and in particular, helping broadcasters. The Broadcast Foundation of America. You know, you're a retired guy, you bought a rocking chair, you go to your cigar bar, you spoil your grandkids, you know, spoil your beautiful wife, Beth, but you're still a broadcaster, and you had a passion when you retired to stay involved and stay engaged, and It's the perfect spot for you.
Yeah, it's become my life's work, really, at this point. And the Broadcasters Foundation is something I was involved with while I was working. And they had approached me to have a leadership position in the organization. And when Dan Mason, my former boss at CBS, had run his course as the 4-year chairman of the group, they asked me if I would take over. And I'm now starting my 7th year. And it is my passion because, you know, many of us, you and I included, who this business has been very, very good to, and we've done very well. There are a lot of people that haven't had that and or find themselves on a hard time, not by anything they've done. You know, one bad investment, a natural disaster, illness, and they find themselves with no place to turn, and that's where the Broadcasters Foundation steps in. And I can't tell you the heart-wrenching letters we get from people that say, I had to make a decision between my electric bill, my rent, and my meds, and then your check showed up.
Right.
And once we accept you as a grantee, you get a check every single month until you don't need it anymore. And if something happens to the broadcaster, we'll continue helping the spouse until they get back on their feet. So it really is, you know, how anyone could not give something is beyond me. And it's a long list of people that are great to us, and there's a long list of people that don't give us anything. I just think you have to give back, especially to a business that has been really good to a lot of us.
Our audience for this podcast are broadcasters, or they are, you know, one lane over in our network and support and partners. So we're all in that ecosystem, and we know people. We know people, and again, full disclosure, thanks to Scott and Tim. We'll give Tim a shout out here in a minute. I joined the Broadcasters Foundation of America board. Erica Farber is a longtime member. My former business partner, who I think will always be my partner in life, Beth Newhoff, you know, is a big supporter and advocate. But we in this business know it may be the board operator at the radio station that you worked with. It may be an anchor. It may be a photog. It may be a general manager. It may be a former head of a company that has found themselves in a situation, but you never know where those situations are going to come from. And as you mentioned, it could be a traffic accident or a horrible visit to a doctor, and all of a sudden now a family's dealing with cancer. Tornadoes and floods and hurricanes.
We keep the list of our grantees anonymous. Obviously, nobody will know who they are, but some people would be shocked with some of the people we help because they would assume that they don't have a financial issue. But the great thing about our charter, as you were saying, is as long as you worked in broadcasting, the receptionist, promotion team, we will help you. If you worked in broadcasting and you need the help, we will be there for you.
Well, to be there for you requires there to be something to draw upon. And that would be funding. And in my very brief time on the Broadcasters Foundation of America, I am in awe of the generosity of so many. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, I mean, we're truly blessed because people that get it really get it. You know, we have a legacy fund, and there are a lot of people that have committed money long after they're gone to support the foundation. And my wife Beth and I are part of the legacy fund. So when we both go, you know, the Broadcasters Foundation will benefit from that in a financial way. And that's another way to do it. But the people today, you know, when Phil Lombardo, our former chairman, was around, and he's an inspiration to me because he taught me a lot about how to run a nonprofit. And Phil always said, I want to give my money while I'm alive. I don't want it to come when I'm gone. I want to give it now. And Phil was one of the most generous people to us on a regular basis. And we have a lot of those people, you know. Mario Gabelli of Gabelli Funds has just been incredible to us. And is a big guy that invested in broadcasting and television early in the game. And the list goes on and on. The CEOs of almost every major company is on our board and supports our mission. And our list of contributors is very long. And by the way, no donation is too small. You know, somebody gives us $25, $10, $50, they add up in a big way. So don't think that any donation is too small. We need them all.
And as we are talking to broadcasters on this podcast, I wanted to reiterate that point, that $25, $100 is just as valuable to the mission as a very large gift that would come in.
It's more important to me that people give regularly and don't forget us, no matter what the amount. I would rather get $25 from somebody every single year than get $1,000 in one shot and never hear from them again. I want people to feel an affinity to the group. I want them to know that we're here. I mean, most of the people that we help have come to us from someone who contributes to us and says, is this someone you could help? And the answer is yes, in most cases.
And I've been aware of conversations with that from broadcasters who've encouraged a staff member, a family member, an extended family member to reach out.
And people that have trouble doing the paperwork, we have people to help them with that. And our staff is very, very good at keeping in touch with the people that get grants from us and checking if they're okay. And listen, the best story for us, and it happens occasionally, is someone will call and say, I'm happy to tell you I don't need your help anymore.
Yeah.
I'm back on my feet. I have regular money coming in, and I would never have gotten to this stage without the help of the Broadcasters Foundation. So that's the best story possible, when they don't need us anymore.
I love that. I'm reminded, and it wasn't the Broadcasters Foundation, but in my former work with the Newhoff family, we executed a very large food drive in a small place. And regularly, and this was in Decatur, Illinois, and it's still going on for all the right reasons, we would measure in terms of pounds. So in a 12-hour period of time, our radio stations were on the air, we're engaging with the audience, stuff, this is right out of your playbook, engaging with the audience, telling stories all day, and we would raise enough funds in 12 hours to collect, over 1 million pounds of food in one day, which would stock food pantries for a year. I love that. But this one time, this little boy, we were live on location, this little boy comes walking up on stage, and he has in his hand, Scott, a Ziploc storage bag with coins. And he was with his grandmother. And he comes up on stage and he sets the bag down on the table in front of the broadcasters. I was standing there, tears coming down my eyes. And he said, I want to help other children. other kids like me.
The best.
And he gave all of his, in his mind, all of his money that was in that Ziploc storage bag to the greater cause. It's the same thing that you're talking about.
And it's what we do. And it's in our case, it's broadcasters helping broadcasters.
Right.
It's what we need to do. We have to be there for our people. And we're the only charity totally dedicated to helping broadcasters.
You mentioned the team. So let's go ahead and give a little shout out.
So Tim McCarthy is our president. Tim used to run the ESPN stations across the country, and a fabulous leader, and stepped in when Jim Thompson, our longtime president, passed away and was battling cancer. And Tim's done a great job. We have Peter Doyle, longtime executive at McGavran Guild, and is our executive vice president. We have Judy Quaranta, who's our financial head, keeps us all, in line. We have Emily Barrett, who runs our publications, our grants program, very visible at all of our events. And the newest member of our team is Jennifer Poma, who has just done a great job in reaching out to the grantees, getting very personally involved in them, sifting through all the paperwork and getting us set on, who makes the cut, who needs to get the money, and how fast we can get them the money. And they're a lean team and a very devoted team. And it's great. They're really a great group of people. And all of them have been there a long time. I mean, once you get sucked into our mission, it's hard to put it aside because it becomes so much a part of your life.
All right, what's the best way for those that are watching the podcast or listening to connect with the Broadcasters Foundation of America?
Easiest way is go to broadcastersfoundation.org. Easiest way to contribute is through the website. Find one of us if you're at this convention. Most of us carry business cards with QR codes on the back, and we'll be glad to take your money. But the internet, the web is the best way to do it.
And the second part is, if you know someone who's in need, connect.
Connect with us. Call our office, send us an email. We want to give more money away. We want to help as many people as we possibly can. And not only do we help people that need money on a monthly basis, but if you suffer a natural disaster, if your house burns down, if you're involved in a flood, we'll get you some emergency money to pay for your hotel for a week in your town. So we do emergency grants, which is an easier threshold to pass than to get monthly grant money.
Let's switch to our industry. You love this business. I love this business, but you really, really love this business in your career, what you've done, how you've impacted thousands of people beyond, selling great radio and representing great radio stations and leading teams and inspiring. On the business side, you've inspired a lot of human beings by who you are. And, that's why, you're a Hall of Fame guy and broadcaster. But, as we're at a bit of a crossroads now in this industry where our competition is no longer ourselves, and probably haven't been for quite some time, right. But truly no longer. Our competition doesn't lie within the four walls of the radio industry. It's outside of that. What's your view of our industry today, our opportunities for tomorrow, and what keeps you excited about us?
I think the possibilities are endless. I mean, I've been hearing that radio is dead for 35 years. Radio's never dead. It's never going to be dead. I think that, I think we hurt ourselves a little bit. Radio is a very simple business. Hire great people, put out great content, get ratings for that content, sell the advertising, help people sell their product, and move on to the next day. And we make it more difficult. Unfortunately, people took on a lot of debt. They cut a lot of jobs out of the industry. And I still think the one advantage that radio has over other medium is to be live and local. And I think we can never get away from that. And I don't think AI will hurt that. There are ways that AI can help the mix and help the people that are there. But I think you have to have boots on the street selling the product. They have to really know the product that they're selling and be able to tell the elevator pitch about their product. It's always been a relationship business. You sit in front of a client. If they like you, they'll buy you. If they like you and you have a great product, they'll really buy you. And if you have a great product and they don't like you, they'll buy you. So it all comes with having a great product. And I think sometimes we hurt ourselves as an industry. I think we just have to really, go back to basics. And it saddens me a little bit when I see all the reductions in workforce. And I'm not being Pollyannish here. I understand it's a business and people have to service their debt and the bankruptcies that they're all going through. But you can't cut your way to success. It just doesn't happen. You have to invest to make money. There's no other way to do it. Every successful business does that. And don't cut too much. Invest to succeed.
Our relationship with the audience is still very, very, very strong. To your point, the content, the connection to the audience. And I think that is one of radio's greatest strengths. I mean, we're still the number one reach medium. We still have growing audiences. We still have ways that we're learning to connect even more so than we have in the past.
Yeah, look where the stars are coming from podcasting, mostly from radio.
Yeah.
I mean, it's what we do. We were the original social media. We've been doing this for over 100 years. So it's, yes, I mean, we really have to remember who we are. And listen, the television business is very different because, with Netflix and with Apple and with Amazon Prime, and, I have trouble finding my Yankee game sometimes because I don't know what channel it's going to be on. It's on 5 different channels in any given week. Radio is still, it's right there, it's in your car, it's free, you don't pay for it. And what a great idea, you think about it. You can hear it wherever you go, you can take it wherever you go, and you don't pay for it.
It's been that way for 105 years. It will continue that way.
It has to. I know it will.
Radio is great because
it's everywhere. It's local. It connects with people. It's like I said, it is the original social medium. I mean, it's, where do you find things out? Where do you know a storm is coming? Where do you know what team is playing who? Where do you find out who's pitching tonight? Where do you complain about your favorite team? Sports radio. Where do you learn about music discovery? Your favorite radio station. Where do you go to hear the music that you want to relax to? Radio. Who connects with you? Local talent, DJs, people you want to wake up to, people you want to go to sleep with. So, yeah, I mean, it's ubiquitous. It's unbelievable.
Thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
First of all, thank you for what you do as a human being. And you've been a long-time close friend and mentor to me and my family. My youngest daughter and you have a text thing going on. She sends big dog text messages to Scott Herman, and they speak their own language. But as a human being, you've really impacted this world in a positive way. You've impacted me. You've impacted the RAB as a past chair. You're a red jacket, thanks to Eric Hellam. You continue to stay engaged. You don't sit on the sideline. And now with the Broadcasters Foundation of America in a leadership role, you're impacting lives beyond anything that you even know. So Thank you for that.
Thank you. And I'd say to anyone listening to this, get involved. Over my career, I was an RAB board member, a past chair. I'm still on the International Radio TV Society Foundation board. I'm judging the Hearst Foundation Broadcast Journalism Awards right now. I was on the NAB board. I mean, get involved. Help make your industry better than it is. Don't sit on the sidelines. Don't complain if you're not trying to fix something.
Yeah, never offer a problem without a solution.
There you go. March 4th and be positive.
We're going to end on that. Scott Herman, thank you, man. I love you.
Mike.
Appreciate
Love you too. Thank you.
Thank you.